Hello, I'm Ahmed Nagar, and this is Monday Legal. My guest for today is Ahmed Odeh. Good morning, Ahmed. Thank you for coming. Ahmed Odeh is a second-generation lawyer, born and raised in UAE, lived here all his life, handled more than 50,000 cases, an expert in civil and commercial litigation, and he is a famous lawyer in the UAE because of his social media presence. What's your coffee?
Black.
Where do you sort it?
I usually get my coffee from Some of Us or the Raw Coffee Company.
How did you get into the law? Did you get into the law as a choice, or how did that start?
It wasn't a choice, actually. I never wanted to be a lawyer. Okay. I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be in entertainment. Anything just as far away from the corporate world as possible. But I got forced into it. My father set up the firm in 1985. And as you know, in Arab families, they always tell you that the source of income is the source of your blessing, and that the future generations have to, stick with that, because that's how we were all raised, by that income.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm coming from the same background as well. Maybe it's a little bit different for me because I really liked it, and I was so decided to be a lawyer as well. I never thought that the specialty that I will take is where I am today. So I had a completely different idea, but here we are. So one of the most established lawyers in the UAE, one of the most famous as well. Tell us more about this. You're famous on social media. How did you start that?
Well, if you want me to be really truthful about it, the way it started was when I was checking other lawyers on social media and other people that were going on social media and taking videos. And that was in the early days, late 2020, early 21, when TikTok was still all about music and dancing. And I saw a couple of lawyers on there, you know who they are. And I thought, hey, I can do a similar, if not better job.
I can do it better.
I can do it better.
It's always like that.
Exactly, yeah. Since all it took at the time is just your phone, really. Yeah. You don't even need a microphone, right? I thought, okay, well, I can do that. So I just, picked up the phone and started recording. And that's how it started.
Wow, almost 2 years, and you have so many followers. People really know you, and they benefit a lot from what you do.
Exactly. So what I didn't realize is that the following that I have are mostly for the public community, the people in the sort of working class community that really have absolutely no idea about what their rights are and how to self-advocate. And they always think that they cannot protect themselves without paying a lawyer to do so. And of course, most of them don't really have the means to pay for an advocate to help them. So the idea behind everything I was doing is handing the law over to them and having them to take matters into their own hands.
What you say on social media is very important. It can get you in legal trouble. So how do you see that in the context of courts? Because you are a litigation expert. You do a lot of cases. Have you seen someone get in trouble because of what they say online or what they post online, how they put themselves out there? Did they get to be in trouble at court?
It's a good question. Actually, in Dubai specifically, people are quite careful with what they post online. So they don't have a sort of a negative outlook when it comes to anything that they post on Instagram or TikTok, because people like to post about what they're eating, where they're going. It's more about show. It's
a lifestyle thing, I want to show off what I'm doing.
Yeah, it gets a bit complicated when people start posting Google reviews.
Okay.
On companies, which today, as you know, the threshold for a Google review, a bad Google review, turning into something which is incriminating in nature is very small. So you could genuinely have a bad experience with a company, paid for a service or a product, and didn't get what you wanted, and you posted a genuine Google review, 1-star, 2-star rating, and your full experience.
Yeah. So a few years ago, I had a client who was sending me all his social media posts before putting it out on Instagram. He was a lifestyle focused real estate broker. So he's putting all his lifestyle, all his parties on yachts and on the desert and in parties in Dubai. And because he was trying to really make a lot of show off, and there was so many people involved in these posts. So my job was basically clearing them. So I have to see the post one day before it's posted just to say it's okay or not. And even there was talk shows in Egypt where I have seen that the legal counsel of the TV channel attending all these sessions before it goes online, and it was an online-based shows. So they put the lawyer in the room just to make sure this will go online and this will not.
So you were like his PR company, just making sure his act is clean.
Exactly. You know, it's like clearing it before it goes live. Your life is full of stressful work related to court hearings, litigations, clients who are angry, clients who are having a lot of expectations. At the same time, you're doing a lot with the social media, shooting and making videos for the public. How do you manage this kind of important days or important meetings? Do you have like special rituals to put yourself in a ready stage for these days?
Actually, you know, someone would expect that I would say, oh, I wake up at 4 a.m. and do my morning meditation and so on, and, you know, read a book that is inspiring. Actually, that's not the case. I just try to wake up as early as possible and gear myself into focus for work. What do I have to do? What do I have to say when I get there? Difficult interactions. As you know, lawyers, we always have to have a lot of confrontations with clients, with counterparties, with our own employees. Absolutely. People that are, you know, requesting all kinds of commissions, bonuses, and these things. So I try to get into deep focus in that sense. And, you know, one of the things that really matter is dressing appropriately. Like when you dress really well for it, like how you're dressing up right now, that sort of puts my mind into gear. Like, okay, it's action time.
You know, when you were talking, exactly that what came to my mind. I am ready the moment I put the tie on, and that's the last step I do in the suit. I'm ready. I'm full geared. I'm on.
Exactly. The tie is that sort of thing that really, like, all of a sudden puts you into focus.
Yes. Ahmed, now I would like to talk about something that you and me were very, very familiar with, but probably the mainstream public or the people doing business is a new word for them. KYC, know your client. As a term, it is quite new for many people, and it's very hard for us to explain it. Oh, it's not hard for us to explain it. It's just important that we explain it to every single person that we're doing business with. And we see that many times we have conflicts or we get clients getting into trouble. And when we ask them, have you done your KYC? Do you know your client very well? They have done nothing about this. So what's your opinion on that?
I think in general, KYC has become the bane of every lawyer's existence. Previously, we used to accommodate every client without having to question their source of income and where they're coming from. Right. But now it's become a bit different. Absolutely. My take on it is, at first, there was a lot of resistance from our side, but now it just makes so much sense to have a KYC, to get people to understand that we don't accept anyone that is politically affiliated, that has any Interpol arrest warrants against them, that are, that have done something that is, politically or internationally incriminating. And we don't want to be associated with people like that. As you know, lawyers associate their reputation with the clients and the people that they have in their sort of list of clients that they work with. So for us, it's become a blessing. It looked like it was a bad thing, but now it's better. And also for me, I oftentimes question the people that I'm meeting. I don't know where they are coming from. And especially in Dubai, people coming from all walks of life. If they have not been referred to the firm by somebody that you trust, it's oftentimes very difficult to understand who they are and how they were able to get any source of income for them to even pay you in the first place. And that's also another thing, like the question of whether a client will actually pay and how they'll pay.
I had also encountered many cases where client is coming to us had a contract, provided a service, and they would like to file a case against the other party for not paying or not fulfilling their obligations in the contract. And when we ask them, do you know this client? Do you have their license copy? Do you have the manager's name, the full one, the legal one? Do you have their passport copy? Do you have the KYC documents for them? And we realize that many companies who are not lawyers as well, we understand that they're in the commercial transactions or real estate, or even a graphic designer who have done job and extended time and sometimes extended money, and they have no idea about their client. They just saw them once, or they got an email from them once, and they started doing work with them. We cannot even take them to court because we have no information about them.
100%.
Yes, it gets really difficult in this sense. So that's why more and more we're pushing all our clients, please do proper due diligence. Please do your homework about your customers before you accept.
We've had a government compliance team come to our office and check all of our policies and procedures with regards to compliance. And they asked us if we have the list. Do you know about the list?
Yes.
Yeah, the PEP list. So,
of course.
It's very serious.
Many entrepreneurs are either fresh graduates or people who are young in the age, people who want to drop out of university and start up their own business, people who are already in the professional field and they want to quit their job and go start businesses. What sort of advice you give them? Because I see these guys are very much eager to do business. They have all the energy on the commercial side, but they neglect the legal side because it's costly and it's very complex, and everybody try to avoid admitting that problems could happen. And I see it all the time. I see that they say, we will sort out the legal stuff later on. We will meet the lawyer when we are big enough. How do you see this?
Good question. From my take as a lawyer, if you're starting out a business or you are already in business and you've tried your entire entrepreneurial life to avoid lawyers simply because of the fact that you either fear them or you think that they're too expensive, my opinion on it is you should not get into business in the first place. Simple as that. Everybody that has a business will at some point throughout their lives get into legal issues, and that is normal. And I always try to say this, going to court is normal. It is a fact of life that courts exist, and they've existed for thousands of years, right? People still act like it's something that is like abnormal and, it's just a stress on them. Yes, I understand there is an element of emotional trauma that is involved in going to court, or some stress that is involved, but it's not the end of the world. Life goes on, and having lawyers with you is part of the journey, just as much as accountants and real estate agents. It's normal to have disputes, but to avoid lawyers entirely is, in my side, a complete denial of the reality of things.
Yeah, it comes to the point that a lot of entrepreneurs, when I talk to them, even especially at the beginning phase where they are trying to find out what sort of legal structure they would like to do, how they do arrangements of establishing the company or company formation and so on. When I come and talk to them about something as simple as a shareholders agreement, guys manage the expectations of each other as partners, and they say, no, we're friends. We're never going to fight.
Oh, no. I'll give you one better. Hey, Ahmed, do you have a template that I could use just for like a shareholder? Like something really quick and brief, I've known this guy from university and he's okay, right?
Yeah, or I got this contract from Google. I'm going to send it to you. Please review it. It's
the amount of disputes that I've seen from friends that have over the past 2 years, and people that have fallen out with each other, especially when they start bringing in shareholders on board. Right. It's scary.
Absolutely.
And it all starts because, that they trust each other and so on, but they don't know, they've never really challenged each other what happens when the business actually grows and starts making money. Yeah.
So it's never early to call your lawyer. It's never.
Well,
it can be too late.
It can be too late.
Do you love your job?
Sometimes, not all the times.
Tell me about the not all the times part.
Sometimes you have cases that you not necessarily win, and it really puts a dent on your day, sometimes your entire month. And you're in this business to win, you're in this business to be successful, and it doesn't always pan out the way you expect it. You could have, as you know this, you can have 10 cases that you won on any particular day, but that one case that you lost is just going to stick with you.
Takes your head away.
And no matter how many times you tell your client that there's no guarantees of a win, it's just, it really hits you hard.
Yeah, but these things we tell to the clients just to manage the expectation, and it's honest to tell them that there's no guarantees, because there are other elements of human interaction as well, and there's so many it depends occasions in the middle, but sometimes you promise yourself that you're going to win.
Because the business of law is not the same as being a lawyer. Our employees get the benefit of being lawyers and just enjoying that sort of the duty that they're in. Whereas
when you get into the business side, you're actually everything. You're a lawyer, a psychiatrist, an HR, a business development,
social
speaker, and social media, of course. Yes, absolutely. How do you see the future of the legal practice in the UAE with all the changes that's happening, with all the new laws that happens every day, that it comes into force, and the new decrees and the regularization for the legal practice itself? How do you see the legal practice in general, the legal profession evolving in the UAE? And what advice do you give to the young lawyers?
This reminds me of a book that a very popular one by Richard Susskind about tomorrow's lawyers. And it talks about the commoditization of legal services, and that a legal service should turn into a product rather than just a service. But more specifically in the UAE than anywhere else in the world, speed trumps quality and it trumps price. If you are able to complete a task or even a case very quickly and turn it around as quickly as possible, the client is willing to pay more now for that. And he's willing to offset the quality for it. That is the most important thing that I could say for the juniors and people getting into this business. The quicker that you'll be able to execute and complete tasks, that's where you're going to be excelling, because the client is going to respect you more. Don't forget, clients are entrepreneurs. For them, time is the most important thing. And usually them calling a lawyer is always a last minute thing. Like, oh, I forgot to call my lawyer. Hey, can you finish this contract in 2 hours or something, right? Because I got the meeting coming up or something like that.
It's always urgent. It's always needed now.
Yes.
Or, yeah. That brings me to the next question. The most important word right now is AI. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. And in our field, everybody is scared what the artificial intelligence are going to bring on the table for lawyers or affect our job. How do you see that?
I use AI a lot, and I also push AI to my team as well. And I find it to be a fantastic tool when communicating with clients over email, because as you know, Microsoft Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT can really clean up emails and make things very clear between you and your client. And the client, you can see that they're also using AI in return, and that's great. As far as legal documentation is concerned, AI tools are there, and we've tried to demo some of them and see how they work, but they're still quite on the expensive side. So they're still reserved for the top tier firms, because those firms have sufficient budgets for legal technology.
Right.
Okay. Whereas, for example, our firms, we're not willing to spend $30,000, $50,000 a year just to incorporate an AI contract management software. It's not that we need it right now, right? We can still sort of use our own traditional methods. But yes, invariably, AI is going to take over in that sense. And again, speed up the services. And that's what the client needs. That's not we need. The client needs that.
Absolutely. Would the AI take over lawyers? Are we going to see no lawyers in the future, and the AI is going to dominate this?
No. The way I see it is it's till today, and I don't think this is ever going to change. People need people. And clients that come to you and they come to your offices, they're coming, and there's because a good part of why they're there is that they want to offload whatever emotions that they have, any issues that they have, bent up within them. They can't offload that onto an AI system.
I'm going to have a question to you, and I'm going to shoot the same question to ChatGPT.
Okay.
And see who answers it in which way.
Let's go.
And yeah.
Let's go. All right.
The question will be, who would win in a custody case of a dog in the UAE? The one who bought the pet or the one who walks it every day?
The one who bought it.
Very good. In the UAE, the resolution of a pet custody case would likely depend on various factors and is not solely determined by who purchased the pet or who walks it daily. The court would consider aspects such as welfare of the animal, the ability of each party to care for the pet, and the possibility, the legal ownership or registration of the pet. However, it's important to note the pet custody laws can be complex and vary widely. Consulting a legal professional with expertise in local laws will provide the most accurate and
Who's going to go to
applicable
court?
advice for such a
Who's
situation.
going to go to court to
Thank
file
you.
a custody case for their pet?
I wouldn't expect that to
Really?
happen. I think it
Have
would.
you seen it happen? I've not seen it happen.
I've seen mediation. I handled the mediation between a divorcing couple.
Right.
And the discussions were brutal about the dog.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
That I understand because the dog is part of a larger
Of course.
theme, and that
Yes.
is a divorce. Yeah.
Would they take it to court? In my opinion, if we wouldn't have reached an agreement during the mediation, definitely it would have been.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Ahmed, thank you so much for coming. Interesting discussion. I think we're going to have to bring you here again because there's so many things that we need to talk about.
Thank you very much, Ahmed.
This is your dose from Monday Legal. See you next week.